Hey, how you doing? John Tubiolo here. Um, Guys, we need to talk a little bit about gun safety. I don't think this is a topic I don't think can be covered enough. Let's just say that. I think too many people are reckless and careless when it comes to their firearms, especially firearms they keep in their homes. People leave. I know I've got some friends that keep firearms stashed all over their house, locked and loaded, ready to go. Um, Listen, if you don't have little kids around, or it's not in a real conspicuous place, and it's concealed really well. Not that I'm against that, but I'm just not a big fan. I just with home invasions and stuff going up, and the crime rate going up, if somebody comes in and burglarizes your house and finds your weapons, they could use those to go out and commit crimes. Last thing in the world you want to have somebody come into your house at night, find a weapon that you have that's locked and loaded, and then use that against you in a home invasion. So I am really, really big about locking my stuff up, keeping it safe. And the way you do that, and the first and foremost, is with a gun safe. I have multiple gun safes around my house. Everything's locked up. If you have the smaller safes, make sure they're bolted in, bolted to something that's not, that if they got to carry an entire dresser or something out of your house in order to steal that thing, and then break into the safe, more power to them if they can do that. But if it's something that they can pick up, smaller safes that are not bolted down, I'm talking about the little handgun safes that I've seen a lot of people that just have those. Yeah, they work off of, your fingerprint, or there's a key or a card or something, RFID reader with a card. You just take that thing, pick it up, and walk out the door with it. I know some people that keep that underneath the cars, seats in their cars. And, there's nothing that prevents anybody from breaking into your car and stealing that weapon. I don't leave guns in my car, right? If I'm going to carry and I'm going into a store that I know I can't carry in or open carry in, I'm concealed carrying. Nobody should know that I have a weapon on me. I'm certainly not going to just leave that shit in my vehicle and then hope to God nobody breaks in. You've got to lock your stuff up. You've got to stay safe. Recently read an article when you'd thought that a guy that owns a gun shop would know better, but there was a gun shop owner who shot an I think he was a Green Beret Special Forces sniper in the face because he mistaked his Glock 17 for a BB gun. Guys, guns are not, it's not okay to joke around with them. They're not a joke. Every weapon needs to be treated as if it were loaded, even if it's not. It means you don't flag somebody with your weapon. You don't fucking, point it at them. You don't flash somebody with your weapon. You keep your weapon pointed in a safe direction. You assume every weapon is loaded unless you clear that weapon. And even then, you don't point the weapon at somebody else. If you point a weapon at somebody, you better intend to shoot them. Or that's going to be what the law is going to consider, that you took action to shoot somebody, right? There's a lot of ways to do it. First and foremost, gun safes. I'm a big believer in gun safes. I don't like the electric ones because the ones that are battery operated. I think if the battery fails and you got to find a key, I like the old gun safes that you have to actually use the combination lock. But that's a personal preference. You buy what you want. Some of the ones that go off of biometrics or the fingerprint ones, they tend to not work well for females because females don't have a really pronounced fingerprint that is readable every single time. So those don't work real well. If you happen to be a lady that doesn't have pronounced fingerprints, you don't understand why it's not working. The RFID card readers, okay, but if your kids know about it and they can access it, that makes it a dangerous situation to be in, right? So my weapons, even though I keep them locked up under lock and key, even in my gun safes, guys, I still have locks on the weapons. So this is my father's 357 Magnum, and it has a trigger lock on it, right? See the trigger lock? Use a special key to get that off. The key is not with the gun. I don't have the case that this gun came in. I keep it in my dad's old holster. But I keep trigger locks on revolvers. So all my revolvers are locked up in a safe with a trigger lock on it, so that it can't just be used. They're unloaded. You know, when my Glocks, if I'm storing them, if it's not an EDC, my everyday carry, and even my everyday carry gets locked up in a safe. Again, I don't like to leave my weapons unattended. I don't like to leave my guns in the car. I don't like to leave them, you know, in a drawer somewhere. It's easy access. If I'm standing next to it or sleeping next to it, then yeah, I'm going to have it where I can grab it. But if I'm leaving the house and I'm not going to carry that day, I'm going to lock up my weapons, and I'm going to, you know, again, it's my Glock 22. I'm going to secure that weapon. This goes, you know, through the grip, through the chamber, locks it up so it can't be, you know, you can't put a magazine in here, you can't rack the weapon, you can't load around, and then that key is going to be somewhere else. All right, but it's locked up. So this weapon has been cleared, it's safe, and it's locked up. So if somebody finds that weapon, they're not going to be able to use it against me. Certainly when my kids were little, one of my wife's biggest fears was that my children getting a hold of a gun and accidentally shooting themselves or shooting somebody else. When you buy a gun, it usually comes with a lock, just like this, right? And again, this, and I'll show you this. A lot of people have these. This is a chamber flag. All this does is shows that the weapon is clear. If I'm on the range and I'm opening opening the bolt, and the breech is open, and you know, and they require that you don't have a magazine in it. So you have to clear the magazine, you have to clear the chamber, right? If I'm going to the range, I'll have this in there so that the range master knows that my weapon is clear when I pull it out of my bag, right? And then I can pull that out. But this is not a safe. This is not a lock, right? This is safe, saying that there's no round in the chamber, but this does not qualify as a lock, right? So when you get these, and these work really simply, right? Turn the key, you pop this out, you simply take your weapon, you run this through the bolt opening, down through the magazine opening, and you lock it. Now it's locked, it's safe, right? And I keep my, my weapons in safe, right? It's in safety, okay? So even if, even if this were to go forward, right? The bolt were to go forward on this, it's still in safety. You can't load around. You can't load a magazine. It's locked up. This is going to be a safe weapon. I'm going to store this in my safe. I'm not going to leave this around, because if some criminal comes into my house and finds this, they can use certain things to cut this off. But I'm going to lock this up just like it is, just in case they get access to my safe, they smash through that, and for some reason they get in there and they take this. Now they've got to mess with this. It buys me time, all right? And I know that if my kids, or somebody comes into my house and I happen to have my gun safe open, and for whatever reason, I don't know why that would ever be, but they're not going to be able to accidentally load this and discharge it, or it's not going to be loaded and they're going to have an accidental discharge or use this weapon against me. Guys, you just got to use common sense. Treat every single weapon as if it were loaded. There should never, ever, ever be a reason to point this weapon at somebody you don't intend to shoot. Ever, ever. If I'm pointing this at a target, or I'm pointing this at an animal, or I'm pointing this at another individual, I'm going to intend to take that target down, right? Every single weapon needs to be treated as if it were loaded, as if it can do damage, and stop monkeying around and fucking around with your firearms. It's just not safe. So I wanted to cover that. Make sure that you buy these, and if you're a first-time gun owner, please, please, please lock up your weapons. Keep it safe. Keep everybody around you safe, and you'll enjoy your guns a lot more if they're safe and secure, and the only time you use them is when you intend to use them. All right, so I just wanted to do a real quick video on that. Make sure you lock it up, because gun safety, guys, is the most important thing you can do as a firearms owner, right? Make sure you exercise your Second Amendment right, but make sure you do it safely. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time today. Like and share this video if you know somebody that might need a little bit of information or this particular information. Thanks.